Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. Do us a favor, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell for updates, and of course, comment and upvote the video itself. We'd appreciate it very much. I'm here with Damon Williams Jr., the Ole Miss quarterback commit for the 2024 class. How you doing, Damon?
Yes, sir. Not much. Just got out of track practice and just got home. Relax.
Yeah, and I know everybody's excited. We've all watched your huddle video and exactly what you've done. I think you won 2 games last year against Dylan Raiola, the 5-star. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So, what made you decide to pick Ole Miss?
The times I've been out there, I mean, I just had a great time, and I felt like that was a place I should be, and the offense fit in my skill set schematically, and just being able to showcase my skill set to the max opportunity.
Now, whenever somebody looks at your profile and sees your size, they're automatically going to try and make a connection between you and somebody like Bryce Young. What exactly does your game look like?
I would compare it to Bryce Young myself. I watched a lot of his film, Kyler, of course, too. But I feel like if there's a perfect comparison for me, I feel like there'd be a Bryce Young was just a tad bit more athleticism, a little more speed and stuff like that.
All right, you also run a little bit of track as well. What events do you do? What is your time?
I ran the 1, 2, and 4x1. This year, my PR for the 1 is the 11-1 flat, and the 200 is the 22-3.
All right, that's moving pretty good, man. That's not bad. So, All-Star games at the end of the year. Have you been invited to any All-Star games? What are your plans?
I haven't been invited to the Adidas or the Under Armour one yet, but I've been invited to the U.S. Army one. I don't plan on committing to any certain one just yet because the main goal is getting on campus, and whenever I sign and hopefully we're in a big bowl game, we'll be able to get on campus early.
Okay, that's outstanding. What is your camp plans? What camps are you looking at for the summer?
Right, really just the Elite 11, and that's pretty much it. Just a lot of just training, and then hopefully getting back out to Oxford at any point that I'm free.
Yeah, I haven't been to Oxford in several years, and I used to work in the Manning Center. How's the construction going from the last time you went?
Yeah, it's going great. I mean, the time I was there for the Auburn game, there was nothing there. And then when I was just there last month or so, it was up and running almost. It was right there.
All right, so let's transition a little bit because the quarterback of the recruiting class kind of becomes a primary recruiter for the recruiting class. Which players are you working on?
Definitely Caleb Odom, Anthony Carey, J.J. Harrell, just a lot of the local guys too, like Jamonte and all these other guys. Just try to build the best class that we can and be able to mesh good when we all get down here.
Yeah, everybody should be really excited about what's going on. And like I said, we've seen your huddle film and all of that. Tell everybody what Arizona high school football is kind of like that might not be familiar, because we know Mississippi, we're all invested in that. What is Arizona high school football like?
I would say it's extremely competitive. I mean, a lot of people when they see, Arizona football, they just say this. It's weak or soft, or it's not as good as Texas and Cali and all these other places. But I mean, if you put it into perspective, in the 24 class, there's 2 kids from Arizona that's in the top 10, and I played both of them. So it's the competition is obviously there. It's just being in Arizona, it's hard to just reach out to the people in the South because they wouldn't really understand for the most part.
Yeah, and we're trying to we're doing a crash course on Arizona football because of you. Do they have a weird state championship thing where inter classification? Does it work? Is it kind of weird?
Yeah, so in Arizona we have 1 through 6A, and then those best teams, they have the best teams out of 4A, 5A, and 6A. They go to what they call the Open Championships, which is the best 8 teams in the state, and that's who you go play. And then if you don't make it to that, then the next 8 teams in each conference will have their own playoff.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Do you know of any games that might be on national TV for you this year?
This year, I'm not sure. I know we were trying to figure out something with like some of the in-state schools that we obviously play with, like Hamilton and Chandler, like the big name schools, and then Saguaro possibly would be a possibility, like that rematch of the state championship game. But I don't think anything's finalized yet.
Yeah, Tuesday night, believe it or not, I was sitting here talking with the guy on my channel about Caleb Odom. What type of game and how did you guys cross? Because I mean, he's a Georgia guy, so that's like opposite end of the country. How did y'all hook up?
But I don't even remember. I feel like we just followed each other on Instagram one time, and then I was just telling him like this is a place to be, and then we ended up crossing paths. I think last time I was in Ole Miss, and then this past time, like just now, we were there together.
Have you done like a regional Elite 11? Have they started that yet in Arizona?
No, I haven't yet. The one in LA, I was out in Oxford for, so I'll be back in Oxford for the Elite 11, the one that's there.
Oh, okay, so you're going to do the Oxford Elite 11. Do you?
Yeah.
How are you preparing for that? Because that is a weird camp and almost like a combine type situation. How does a quarterback prepare for an Elite 11 type situation?
I would say probably just quarterback training. I mean, I've been working with the same guy since I was in about the 5th grade. Shout out Coach Gio. I mean, he's just always there for me. And every time I'm out there, there's always a big name kid. Like I work out with Spencer Rattler and all these other dudes that come out there. And so, like when you get into a big environment like that, when you throw against these dudes, like these high caliber dudes, every weekend, I mean, like when you go out to those events, there's nothing like that you haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing for people that might not be familiar about Arizona football. Like Spencer Rattler's from there. I think Florida has a quarterback from Arizona.
Yeah, Jack. He went to Chaparral.
Yes, and there's almost an assembly line. But the reason I asked this is because whenever you were younger coming up, apparently you transferred to Basha. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. But that's not exactly known for before you got there as a football power. It's transitioned lately, but what made you pick that school?
I felt like being in the 8th grade, I felt like I was a pretty high caliber youth kid, and I felt like anywhere that I went, I'd be able to excel in my position. But I felt like being able to have the opportunity to come in and just compete early was a lot of people don't know. I started varsity my freshman year, so I've been starting varsity since my freshman year, and it just it's helped me tremendously. Like every year, just being able to add another year underneath your belt. Like I always said, the next year just make it better than the year you just had, and you just be just fine.
All right, so the next time you're going to be in Oxford is for the Elite 11. Are you planning on coming back out for a game as well?
Yes, I'll be out for. I think I'm trying to set up an OV for the LSU game.
Okay. And is there anything that Coach Kiffin or Coach Weiss is specifically telling you that you think might be of interest to random Joe fan like me?
Not necessarily. I mean,
Okay.
we always have good conversations, and we always, you know what I mean.
All right, man. I appreciate it very much. And everybody, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast their first listening every day. Every dayers tomorrow on the show, we'll have John Garcia talking recruiting. We'll probably talk a little bit about this conversation as well. But anyway, thank you very much, Demond, and we will hopefully have some good times together in Oxford, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care, man.
All right. Thank you.